Olivia Carter stood at the back of the training hall, her small human frame almost hidden behind the towering forms of her alien classmates. The Interspecies Academy of Space Command was the most prestigious military institution in the galaxy, and she was the only human in the Advanced Tactical Training Program. Cadet Carter, perhaps you'd care to demonstrate the proper response to a draconian pincer formation. Commander Zelthos called out, his 4 golden eyes fixed on her with thinly veiled contempt. Olivia stepped forward, feeling the weight of 30 pairs of alien eyes following her. She moved to the holographic display and began to arrange the defensive pattern as she had studied the night before. Incorrect, Commander Zelthos said before she had even finished. Your species' reaction time would leave you vulnerable to the secondary attack wave. This is why humans rarely advance beyond support roles. Laughter rippled through the classroom. Olivia's cheeks burned, but she kept her face neutral as she returned to her position. Primitive instincts, whispered Vexlor, a Regelian cadet with scaled skin and a permanent sneer. She should be studying cargo management instead of wasting our time. The rest of the class focused on the commander's lecture, but Olivia noticed how the examples always seemed to highlight human weaknesses: poor night vision, limited strength, and fragile bodies compared to other species. When the training session ended, Olivia stayed behind as the others filed out. She approached the simulator, activating the program she had been working on after hours. "You're still here." A voice interrupted her concentration. It was Cree, a Centaurian engineering student with bright blue skin and a friendly demeanor. Most cadets run to the mess hall after Zelthos finishes torturing them. "I need the practice," Olivia said, her fingers adjusting the simulator controls. Cree watched her for a moment. "You know, you're the first human I've met who didn't quit after the first month of Zelthos's class." "I'm not giving anyone the satisfaction," she replied, her eyes fixed on the simulation. "Besides, Earth needs representation here." "Well, I think it's impressive," Cree said. "Most species stick to their natural advantages. You're trying to overcome yours." Olivia looked up, surprised by the genuine compliment. "Thanks." Cree gestured to the simulator. "Your approach is interesting. You're combining elements from multiple tactical doctrines. Humans might not have the strength of a Kavaxian or the speed of a Regelian, but we adapt. It's what we do best." Before Cree could respond, the Academy's notification system chimed. All cadets were being summoned to the main hall for an important announcement. They joined the crowd of students gathering before the holographic stage. Admiral Durox, a respected Pleiadian war hero, stood tall as his image was projected throughout the hall. "Cadets, I am pleased to announce this year's Galactic War Games will commence in 3 weeks," he announced. "This competition will test your tactical skills, physical abilities, and leadership potential. The top performers will be considered for officer positions on our flagship vessels." Excited murmurs spread through the crowd. The War Games were legendary, a chance for cadets to prove themselves before the entire Galactic Council. "Teams will be selected by your instructors based on merit and compatibility," the Admiral continued. "This is your opportunity to show what you're truly capable of." As the announcement ended, Commander Zelthos approached Olivia with a datapad. "Cadet Carter, you've been assigned to observation duty during the games. Your tactical scores don't justify a participant position." Olivia's heart sank, but she kept her face neutral. "With all due respect, Commander, I believe I've earned the right to compete." Zelthos' upper eyes narrowed. "That's not your decision to make, Cadet." As he walked away, Olivia felt a new determination rising within her. Somehow, she would find a way to prove them all wrong. 3 months into the academy term, Olivia Carter found herself facing more than just the usual dismissive glances. The announcement of the War Games had changed something in her classmates' attitudes. What had been casual mockery was now targeted harassment. "Look at the human trying to prepare for combat," sneered Vexlor as he passed her in the hallway. "Like teaching a Terran mouse to fight a Jogian tiger." Olivia ignored him, focusing on reaching the simulator lab for her extra practice session. Her determined silence only seemed to irritate the Rigelian more. That afternoon, Commander Zelthos had scheduled evaluation sessions for all cadets. Each would run through a standard tactical simulation, while the entire class observed their performance. When Olivia's turn came, she stepped into the simulator pod with steady hands and a clear mind. "Begin scenario." "Asteroid field ambush," announced the computer. The virtual environment materialized around her. A dense field of space rocks with enemy ships hiding among them. Olivia's fingers flew over the controls as she implemented her strategy. She had practiced this exact scenario for hours, but something was wrong. The controls weren't responding properly. Her evasive maneuvers executed with a 3-second delay, fatal in a real combat situation. Enemy fire tore through her virtual shields as she struggled to compensate. Simulation failed. "Cadet and all crew lost," the system announced coldly. When Olivia emerged from the pod, the classroom erupted in poorly concealed laughter. Commander Zelthos looked at her with something between pity and satisfaction. "This is why humans remain in supportive roles, cadets," he said. "Their neural processing simply cannot handle the speeds required for deep space combat." "I don't understand what happened," Olivia said. "The simulator was malfunctioning." Commander Zelthos raised an eyebrow. "Blaming equipment for personal shortcomings is hardly the mark of an officer, Cadet Carter." As the class filed out, Olivia noticed Vexilor exchanging knowing glances with two of his friends. The pieces fell into place. They had sabotaged her evaluation. Later that evening, Commander Zelthos summoned Olivia to his office. "Carter, I'm recommending your transfer to the Logistics Division," he said without preamble. "Your continued presence in tactical training is becoming problematic." "Sir, I believe I was sabotaged today," Olivia said firmly. "That's a serious accusation without evidence," Zelthos replied. "Perhaps it would be easier to accept that humans simply aren't suited for command roles." Olivia felt her future slipping away. "I respectfully decline the transfer, Commander." Zelthos's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. "That wasn't a request, Cadet. Academy Regulation 47B states that a cadet may challenge a mandatory transfer if they believe it stems from discriminatory practices," Olivia recited. "I'm invoking that right." The commander's expression hardened. "Very well. You have 2 weeks to prove your worth, or the transfer becomes permanent." After leaving his office, Olivia headed straight to the Academy archives instead of her quarters. She needed to find something, anything, that might help her situation. Deep in the restricted section, which she accessed using Kree's engineering override code, Olivia discovered an encrypted file labeled Tactical Innovations, Human Perspective. It contained training modules developed by Commander Elena Ross, a legendary human officer who had earned respect across the galaxy before disappearing on a classified mission. As Olivia began reviewing the first module, she realized it contained exactly what she needed: a completely different approach to space combat that leveraged human unpredictability and adaptability, rather than trying to match alien strengths. For the first time in months, Olivia smiled. She downloaded the entire training program to her personal device. "They want to see what humans can do," she whispered to herself. "I'll show them." The maintenance bay was silent at 300 hours when Olivia slipped inside. She nodded to Kree, who was already there, his blue fingers working deftly on the control panel. "We have 90 minutes before the security sweep," he whispered. "The system shows this area as undergoing routine maintenance." "Perfect," Olivia said, pulling out her tablet. "I need to practice the new maneuvers tonight." For the past week, Olivia had been studying Commander Ross's combat system. It was unlike anything taught at the Academy. Rather than relying on brute force or superior technology, it emphasized rapid adaptation and unconventional responses. "This is risky," Kree said, watching as Olivia loaded the training program. "If Zelthos catches you, he'll transfer me to logistics anyway," Olivia finished. "I have nothing to lose." The simulator hummed to life, creating a holographic battlefield around them. Olivia stepped into the center, her movements fluid and purposeful as she responded to the virtual attackers. "Your style has changed," Cree observed. "What are you doing differently?" Olivia dodged a simulated energy blast. "Humans can't match Rigelian reaction speed or draconian strength, but we can see patterns others miss and adapt mid-battle." Night after night, Olivia continued her secret training. She studied the physiological weaknesses of various species and how their cultural biases affected their tactical decisions. Rigelians, for instance, always protected their right flank due to an evolutionary vulnerability. Arcturians, like Commander Zelphos, never retreated, even when tactically sound. During regular classes, Olivia kept a low profile. She answered questions correctly but never volunteered information. She wanted her transformation to come as a complete surprise. "You're not giving up," Cree noted one evening as they worked. "Most would have accepted the transfer." "Humans don't give up easily," Olivia replied. "It's our most annoying quality, according to the Galactic Council's species assessment." Cree laughed. "And your most admirable one." On the 12th night of her secret training, Olivia entered the simulator bay to find someone already there. Her heart raced until she recognized the tall, silver-haired figure of Admiral Lenara, one of the highest-ranking officers in the Space Command. "Cadet Carter," the Admiral said calmly. "I've been watching your progress." Olivia snapped to attention. "Admiral, I can explain." "No need," Lenara raised a hand. "Commander Ross was my friend. I recognize her methods in your training." The Admiral circled Olivia slowly. "The Galactic Council has been watching humans closely. Many believe your species is too volatile, too unpredictable to be trusted with real power." "And what do you believe, Admiral?" Olivia asked. "I believe potential should be judged on merit, not species." Admiral Lenara activated the simulator. "Show me what you've learned." For the next hour, Olivia demonstrated the hybrid combat style she had developed. When they finished, the Admiral nodded thoughtfully. "You understand what most aliens miss about humans," Lenara said. "Your weakness is also your strength. You lack natural armor, so you developed adaptability. You lack claws, so you created tools. You compensate for every disadvantage." 2 days later, Olivia was summoned to Commander Zelphos's office. He looked distinctly uncomfortable as he handed her a datapad. "Your transfer request has been overridden," he said stiffly. "You've been selected to participate in the war games." Olivia maintained her composure, though her heart leaped. "May I ask why, sir?" "Admiral Lenara personally added you to the roster," Zelphos replied, his golden eyes narrowing. "Though I must warn you, Cadet Carter, the war games are far more challenging than simulations. Your human limitations will be exposed." Olivia accepted the datapad with a nod. "Thank you for the warning, Commander. I look forward to the challenge." As she left his office, Olivia allowed herself a small smile. The real test was about to begin. The grand arena of the Interspecies Academy buzzed with excitement as representatives from 12 different species assembled for the opening ceremony of the Galactic War Games. Holographic displays showed the faces of each competitor, while spectators from across the galaxy watched remotely. Olivia stood with her assigned team, a Proximan with 4 arms, a reptilian Syrian, and a crystalline Aldebaranian. None of them looked particularly pleased to have a human on their squad. "I am Orcs," the Proximan said, his voice a low rumble. "I will lead this team to victory." "The human will compromise our effectiveness," the Syrian hissed. "We should adjust our strategy to compensate." Olivia kept her expression neutral. "I'm Olivia Carter. I specialize in adaptive tactics." The Aldebaranian's crystalline form shimmered with doubt. "Humans have no specialties. That is common knowledge." Before Olivia could respond, Admiral Lenara's voice boomed through the arena. "Welcome, cadets, to the 73rd Galactic War Games. Today, you will prove your worth not just to your instructors, but to the entire Galactic Council." The holographic display changed to show the competition format. 12 teams would compete in a series of increasingly difficult challenges. Only the top performers would advance to each subsequent round. The first challenge begins in 1 hour, the Admiral announced. Team assignments and starting positions are being transmitted to your devices now. Olivia checked her datapad and felt her stomach tighten. They were positioned directly against Vexilor's team, which consisted of the Academy's top-ranked tactical students. We face Team Rigel first, Morix growled. They are favored to win the entire competition. We're doomed, the Syrian muttered. Olivia studied the first challenge parameters. It was a tactical simulation, defending a space station against a surprise attack with limited resources. Each team member would control a different aspect of the defense. I have an idea, Olivia said, but it's unconventional. Her teammates exchanged glances. We have nothing to lose, the Aldebaranian finally said. The human may speak. Olivia quickly outlined her plan. Instead of the standard defensive posture that most teams would adopt, they would appear vulnerable in one sector while setting up an elaborate trap. It was a strategy based on Commander Ross's training, using the opponent's assumptions against them. This violates standard tactical doctrine, Morix objected. Exactly, Olivia replied. That's why it will work. Vexilor expects us to follow the rulebook. He won't be prepared for this approach. After much debate, her teammates reluctantly agreed to try her strategy. They had little faith in its success, but no better alternatives. 1 hour later, the teams took their positions in the simulation chambers. Olivia could see Vexilor through the transparent wall, his scaled face confident as he prepared to crush the competition. Simulation commencing in 3, 2, 1, the computer announced. The virtual environment materialized around them. A space station orbiting a blue giant star. Alarms blared as enemy ships appeared on the scanners. Executing standard defensive protocol. Vexilor's voice came through the communication system, clearly meant to intimidate the opposing team. Olivia nodded to her teammates. Begin Operation Trojan Horse. They implemented her plan, deliberately weakening their south quadrant shields, while secretly rerouting power to specialized weapons arrays. As predicted, Vexilor's team immediately concentrated their attack on the apparent weakness. The human strategy is failing, the Syrian whispered as the first wave of attackers breached their outer defenses. Wait, Olivia said calmly. When Vexilor committed his main force to the attack, Olivia sprang the trap. Hidden countermeasures activated, catching the enemy ships in a crossfire. Within minutes, Vexilor's carefully orchestrated assault collapsed into chaos. Simulation complete, the computer announced. Victory, Team Terra. Stunned silence filled the arena. Vexilor's team, the champions in waiting, had been eliminated in the first round. Commander Zelthus stood at the observation deck, his 4 golden eyes wide with disbelief as he watched the replay of Olivia's strategy unfold. Impossible, he whispered. Admiral Lanera smiled beside him. No, Commander. Simply human. Word spread quickly through the Academy about Team Terra's unexpected victory. Cadets from all species began watching Olivia closely as she walked through the corridors. Some with curiosity, others with suspicion. It was luck, Vexilor hissed as he passed her in the dining hall. A fluke that won't happen again. Olivia ignored him, focusing instead on building better communication with her team. Their initial success had done wonders for team morale. Even the doubtful Syrian had begun to look at her with something resembling respect. Your strategy was effective, Morix admitted during their planning session for the second challenge. What do you propose for the asteroid field navigation test? Olivia spread her notes across the table. We need to think differently. Everyone will be plotting the most efficient path. But what if we use the asteroids themselves as cover and propulsion? The Aldebaranian's crystalline form shimmered with interest. You mean bouncing off them? That's dangerous. Calculated risk, Olivia replied. I've been studying the physics. If we time it right, we can slingshot around the larger bodies and gain significant speed advantages. When the second challenge began, Teams were tasked with navigating a treacherous asteroid field while being pursued by automated hunter-killer drones. Most teams took the conservative approach, carefully plotting paths through the clearest areas. Team Terra did the opposite. They charged straight into the densest part of the field, using precisely timed thruster bursts to bounce from asteroid to asteroid. The pursuing drones couldn't match their unpredictable trajectory and smashed into the floating rocks. They emerged from the field 3 minutes ahead of the next team. "Unorthodox but brilliant," commented one of the Pleiadian judges. They turned obstacles into assets. By the third challenge, a complex rescue operation in a toxic atmosphere, other teams had begun to adapt, trying to incorporate some of Olivia's innovative approaches, but she was already developing new tactics, staying one step ahead. "The human is changing the game," whispered cadets in the hallways. "She thinks differently." Not everyone was impressed. Vexlor and his remaining allies watched with growing resentment as Team Terra advanced through the ranks. Commander Zelthos maintained his skeptical silence, though Olivia occasionally caught him studying her with a puzzled expression. After the fourth challenge, a covert intelligence gathering mission that Team Terra completed in record time, Olivia was returning to her quarters when Admiral Lanera intercepted her. "You've made quite an impression, Cadet Carter," the Admiral said. "The Galactic Council representatives are particularly interested in your performance." "I'm just doing my best, Admiral," Olivia replied. "Your best is challenging some deeply held beliefs about humans," Lanera said with a slight smile. "Keep it up." The semifinal challenge was announced the next morning, a live-fire exercise in full combat gear. 8 teams would enter a massive arena filled with automated defense systems and programmed obstacles. Only 4 would advance. As the teams prepared their equipment, Olivia noticed Vexlor watching her from across the prep room. His eyes held pure hatred. The exercise began with a simulated ship breach. Teams raced through corridors, disabling security systems and fighting off defense drones. Olivia led her team smoothly, their coordination now almost instinctive. Halfway through the course, they encountered another team pinned down by heavy fire. The Aldebaranians suggested bypassing them. After all, fewer competitors meant better chances for Team Terra. Olivia hesitated only briefly. "No, we help them." Using their remaining smoke grenades, Team Terra created cover for the trapped cadets. As they fought together to clear the section, a support beam cracked above them, weakened by stray fire. Olivia spotted it first. Without hesitation, she shoved 2 cadets, including one who had openly mocked her days earlier, out of the way as the beam crashed down. The impact caught her shoulder, sending her sprawling. Carter, Morex rushed to her side. Olivia winced as she got to her feet. "I'm fine. Let's finish this." They completed the course with the second-best time, easily advancing to the finals. But it wasn't their performance that dominated the Academy's conversation that evening. It was the footage of Olivia risking herself to save competitors, an act of selflessness that contradicted everything they thought they knew about humans' selfish nature. Even Commander Zelthos watched the replay in silence, his expression unreadable. The announcement screen flashed the final matchup, Team Terra versus Team Rigel. Somehow, Vexlor had managed to advance his reconstructed team to the championship round. The entire Academy buzzed with anticipation for what promised to be an epic confrontation. The final challenge will test not just your tactical skills, but your leadership under extreme pressure, Admiral Lanera announced to the assembled finalists. "You will command actual patrol vessels in a simulated border dispute. Your decisions will have real consequences for your ships and crew." Olivia's team exchanged nervous glances. This was far beyond any simulation they had faced before. "Each team will have 6 hours to prepare," the Admiral continued. "Your mission parameters will be delivered to your prep rooms. Good luck, cadets." As Team Terra headed to their assigned room, Olivia noticed Vexlor watching her, a slight smile on his scaled face. Something about his confidence made her uneasy. The prep room contained star charts, tactical displays, and communication equipment. As team leader, Olivia began reviewing the mission parameters. They would command a patrol vessel responding to a distress call near contested space. Intelligence suggested potential hostilities from multiple factions. Standard response protocol suggests we approach with shields at maximum, Morek said, pointing to the tactical display. Olivia nodded. Let's run system checks on our vessel first. I want to know exactly what we're working with. The Aldebaranian moved to the equipment terminal. That's strange. I'm getting unusual readings from the shield generators. What kind of readings? Olivia asked, immediately alert. Inconsistent power levels. They're functional, but operating at about 70% capacity. Olivia frowned. Check the weapon systems. After a thorough inspection, they discovered several critical systems showing similar issues. Nothing was completely disabled, but key components were underperforming. This is deliberate, the Syrian hissed. Sabotage. Olivia's mind raced. There wasn't time to report this and get the systems fixed before the challenge began. They would have to compete at a severe disadvantage. It's Vexilor, Morek growled. He couldn't beat you fairly, so he resorted to this. Olivia paced the room, thinking rapidly. We need to adapt. If our shields are compromised, we can't engage in direct combat. We should withdraw from the competition, the Aldebaranian suggested. This isn't fair. No, Olivia said firmly. We complete the mission. We just need a different approach. For the next 5 hours, they developed an entirely new strategy based on their limited capabilities. Instead of trying to match Team Rigel's firepower, they would use stealth, misdirection, and the environment to their advantage. As they prepared to board their vessel, Cree appeared in the corridor. Olivia, I heard about the sabotage. The engineering team is trying to fix it, but there's no time. We'll manage, Olivia said with more confidence than she felt. Cree handed her a small device. This won't fix your systems, but it might help. It's a sensor scrambler, creates false readings on enemy scans. Not exactly regulation, but neither is sabotage. Olivia tucked the device into her uniform. Thanks, Cree. The competition began with both patrol vessels departing from the Academy's orbital dock. Olivia took the command chair, feeling the weight of her team's trust. Distress signal detected, the Syrian reported from the communication station. Appears to be a civilian transport under attack. On screen, Olivia ordered. The tactical display showed a civilian vessel being harassed by what appeared to be raiders. In the distance, a larger warship lurked, Team Rigel's position. They're moving to engage the raiders directly, Morek observed. Standard protocol. Olivia studied the situation. No, something's not right. Those aren't raiders. They're decoys. She quickly ordered a passive scan of the surrounding area, revealing a hidden minefield and several cloaked vessels, traps that would have decimated their already compromised shields. Vexilor expects us to rush in, Olivia explained. Instead, we're going to use Kree's scrambler to mask our approach and circle around. What followed was a masterclass in unconventional tactics. Team Terra used sensor ghosts to confuse the enemy, navigated through a narrow passage of debris that larger ships couldn't follow, and positioned themselves to ambush the ambushers. When Vexilor realized his trap had failed, he was forced to engage directly, exactly what Olivia had prepared for. Now, she ordered. Their vessel executed a perfect flanking maneuver, targeting the specific weaknesses Olivia had identified in Rigelian tactical doctrine. As the final moments of the challenge approached, Olivia's team stood on the verge of an impossible victory. The grand arena erupted into chaos as the final scores appeared on the massive display. Team Terra had won by a narrow margin. Cadets from all species were shouting, some in disbelief, others in celebration. No one had expected this outcome, least of all Commander Zelthos, who stood frozen at the judges' panel. Team Terra, please take the center platform, Admiral Lenera announced, her voice cutting through the noise. Olivia led her team forward, still in their flight suits from the final challenge. The Proximan, Syrian, and Aldebaranian walked tall beside her, no longer concerned about being associated with a human. Cadets, you have demonstrated exceptional skill, adaptability, and courage, the Admiral said as they reached the platform, particularly in the face of unexpected difficulties. Her pointed gaze shifted briefly to Vexilor, who stood with his team at the edge of the arena. Evidence of the sabotage had been discovered during the final challenge, though no formal accusations had yet been made. Team Terra will receive the highest honors and their choice of assignments upon graduation, the Admiral continued. But first, I believe Commander Zelthos has something to say. The Arcturian commander stepped forward, his golden eyes meeting Olivia's. The entire arena fell silent. Cadet Carter, he began, his voice uncharacteristically subdued. I find myself in the unusual position of acknowledging an error in judgment. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Commander Zelthos was famous for never admitting mistakes. I evaluated your potential based on preconceived notions about human capabilities, he continued. Your performance in these games has demonstrated the flaw in that approach. Olivia nodded slightly, maintaining her composure though her heart raced. The tactical division would be honored to have you continue your studies in our advanced program, the commander concluded. Thank you, sir, Olivia replied simply. I accept. Admiral Lanera stepped forward again. Cadet Carter, the Galactic Council representatives were particularly impressed by your leadership. They have requested you for a junior tactical officer position aboard the flagship Stellar Horizon upon graduation. The room buzzed with excited whispers. Such an offer to a cadet, especially a human, was unprecedented. Olivia took a deep breath. I'm honored, Admiral, but I have one condition. Surprise flickered across the Admiral's face. And what would that be? Cadet Cree should be recognized for his contributions, Olivia said firmly. Without his support and technical expertise, I wouldn't be standing here today. From the crowd, Cree's blue face registered shock. Admiral Lanera smiled, a leader who acknowledges those who helped her succeed. Very well, Cadet Cree will receive commendation and consideration for the engineering division aboard the Stellar Horizon. As the ceremony concluded, cadets from various species approached Olivia. Some offered congratulations, others asked about her training methods. The barriers that had seemed so impenetrable 3 months ago were beginning to crumble. Even Vexilor approached, though his expression remained cold. You won, he said simply, though your methods were unexpected. Sometimes the unexpected is our greatest strength, Olivia replied. Weeks later, Olivia stood before a new class of tactical cadets. Among them were 3 humans who had just transferred to the academy, their faces showing the same mix of determination and uncertainty she had felt upon arrival. Welcome to the Interspecies Academy, she began. My name is Senior Cadet Olivia Carter, and I'll be assisting Commander Zelthos with your tactical training this semester. She noticed the surprise on the human cadets' faces. Each species brings unique strengths to Space Command, she continued. Some have natural advantages in strength, speed, or sensory perception. As humans, our greatest asset is our adaptability, our ability to find solutions where others see only obstacles. Commander Zelthos, standing at the back of the room, nodded slightly. The galaxy is changing, Olivia told the class. Old assumptions are being challenged. Your job is not to fit into predetermined roles, but to discover how your unique perspective can contribute to our shared mission. As she looked at the diverse faces before her, human and alien alike, Olivia saw something that had been missing when she first arrived. Respect. Not just for her as an individual, but for the potential of her entire species. The path forward wouldn't be easy. Prejudices ran deep, and one victory couldn't erase centuries of assumptions. But it was a beginning, a crack in the wall that would eventually bring it down. Now, Olivia said with a smile, let's get to work.